Hi, this is Rob Anspach, and I'm with Dr. Alvarez, and a gastric sleeve doctor from Mexico. He owns a company called endobariatric.com, and we brought in a few of his sleevers. They're gastric sleeve patients, and we're going to have a just a fun conversation. It's going to be, a little bit about the procedure, a little excuse me, a little bit about their. And see, that's the fun thing about Hangout. We don't edit it. It's raw. Mistakes happen. You just roll with it. So I'm going to introduce, I'm going to bring Dr. Alvarez on. He can talk a little bit about himself, and then he can introduce the patients that he has with him.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Rob, for the intro. It's always a pleasure to be here and to broadcast to the world and to be able to help more patients out just struggling out with those extra pounds that make a world of difference on the patients' lives. And today we have very, very special guests of mine that will be with us for the next minutes or so. And I want to introduce I'd like for them to introduce themselves and maybe talk a little bit about where you guys started, where you're at, and maybe a little bit of what all this has done for you. Thorne, you want to start?
Hey. I'm 412 pounds. I'm down to 260 now. I had surgery. It'll be 2 years in June. So it's made a tremendous amount of difference in what I do physically and mentally. So actually this weekend we've got a retreat planned where we're off to hike in the Cumberland Mountains here in Middle Tennessee. So it's something I wouldn't have done 2 years ago, that's for sure. The surgery has been phenomenal to live with. It's as Dr. Alvarez stressed from the very beginning, it's a tool. It's not a cure, but a tool. So it's been a great tool for me to use, no question of that.
Good. How about you, Katie?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm from Medicine Hat, Alberta in Canada. And I got my surgery June 30th of last year, so it hasn't quite been a year yet, but I'm getting there close. I started out at about 300 pounds, and now I'm down into the 240s, so I've lost quite a bit of weight. And it is a huge turnaround. I'm still finding things that shocked me. Like, we went bike riding a couple days ago. I was blown away at how much I remembered enjoying bike riding. And just every day I'm still finding these new things that shock me. But the amount of energy I have is just astronomical compared to where I came from. I love it. Best decision I ever made. Yeah.
Wow. And well, most patients don't know, but I many patients from around the world, mainly from the U.S. and Canada, as you can see here on this hangout. And maybe you can help us out on telling us or explaining a little bit of why Mexico, why you guys decided to and maybe it's your case. You say the word Mexico and it boom, and something ends, and you're going until they do, or you find out the real truth about it, right? I've written a book about this, and we have it published already. It's on Amazon, and it's called 34 Gastric Sleeve Stories: The Real Truth About Gastric Sleeve Surgery in Mexico. And I'd like for you to explain maybe a little bit of how you heard about us, or maybe just Mex Insurance, and they're asking you to jump through a hoop and then another hoop and then another hoop, and maybe at the end of the line they'll probably deny the insurance, or just maybe asking for some self-pay price in the U.S. Canada. It's just crazy. I know Canada has system, but maybe you get this. But sometimes the waiting time for a Canadian patient for a gastric sleeve is probably, some people, they may actually die during those years just waiting to have their surgery. And of course, we have an option there at a really good affordable price, and of course with superb healthcare, which is, I mean, I'm the CEO of the company. My thing here is superb. I mean, you guys have to get the best healthcare, much more than at home. All right, so maybe you can start off, Thorne, of how you decided to come down here with us.
Well, for me, my denied it. They preach wellness, but they don't want to pay for it. So it became a self-pay situation for me. I started looking online at what people did for an option in that case. And yourself and another doctor, the more research I did, the more Dr. Alvarez's name came up in conversations online on different blogs and in different communities. So I started doing my homework, and one of the things I was most impressed about was the amount of information and education that you provided to those of us, not whether it was we were going to be your patient or someone else's patient. The fact that that information was there and that you provided, I, like you said, was getting some resistance from family about you're not going to Mexico. Can't imagine you've thought of some crazy things before, but this is the craziest thing you've come up with. So that's when my wife started listening to the weekly radio programs. My wife started on those programs as well. So that's when she started coming on. As we jokingly refer to, that's when Operation Pork Belly was brought about. We, didn't just told friends that we were going to Texas, to San Antonio. Didn't think we had some business to take care of down there. So I didn't really lie. I just didn't give details. And so, they're elect, and I can literally say a handful of people that knew what I was going to Mexico to do. And came back and told family about it. And you recently visited with a family, some patients of yours that saw my story, and I grew up with the husband of the town. And so, a lot of people ask me since, why Mexico, why Dr. Alvarez? And that's what I can tell them. I did my homework. This surgery is not for everyone. But I did my homework. I was impressed by the information I found. I was impressed by the fact that you were so accessible. That was the biggest thing for me, not only to me, but also to my cardiologist, who, we were very, I was very fortunate in that you took the time to speak with him and communicate with him and before I came down. And it's made my journey so much easier and just so much better, and I appreciate that.
Good. Well, trust, and of course, yes, we've had some patients. Well, it's word of mouth, right? It's word of mouth. That's what we have here. It's actually word. The new era is the technology applied, right? How about you? Your story of coming to Mexico for surgery.
Well, like you said, it is free in Canada. And, as in Medicine Hat, we're obviously a smaller city, so the wait time isn't as long. It's about 2 years. They make you so many hoops and jump so many jumps that halfway through you kind of start getting discouraged. And I had gone into the bariatric clinic. That was kind of my first step. And in fact, me, my mother, and my sister-in-law all did the bariatric clinic together. And my mother ended up having the surgery first here, and totally scared me off of it, didn't want to do it, and turned away from the bariatric experience for quite a few months. And then one day me and my husband were sitting and talking, and he said, he's like, I know it's free here, but if you're on trial for murder, are you going to take legal aid or are you going to pay for a lawyer? And I said, well, you'd pay for a lawyer. And he said, there you go. So let's pay for it if we need to. Let's find a doctor we can. And, let's just not let the free be what sells it for us. So we searched for months. I had my sister-in-law, Billy, her and I, we were on the internet. We were watching your YouTube videos. We were digging into everything. We were even trying to plug in, you know, what bad things do you know about so-and-so? We wanted to know it all, and we spent months doing it. And the initial process of getting things going, I was away at how fast I got an email back. I didn't expect one for a couple of weeks with my initial email, and it was within 3 hours I had one back. And I was blown away, and the whole process was easy. There was no problem to it. My sister-in-law ended up going down first. She managed to get the money together faster than I did, but she ended up going down there first, which I secretly was happy about because I used her as a guinea pig, kind of. Don't tell her I said that, but I did. So she went down there, and she did it, and she came back, and she was telling me about it and just thrilled about it. And now, in fact, my brother, who she's married to, is he's planning to come see you this summer. So be ready for that. Everything that she had to say about the place, I thought, oh my God, like I got to go to this place, %. And even with the fact that you have to show up a day earlier, because we are from Canada and the flights don't line up, I kind of liked being there a day earlier because I got to get my nerves under control. You know, I'm glad I had that time to relax and enjoy the process as opposed to it being boom, 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 right? But the entire thing, and I'm not, but my surgery by far turned out a heck of a lot better than my mother's. I've had absolutely no complications whatsoever. Her surgery took 4.5, 5 hours, and she couldn't get up for 2 days. She didn't move around. She was in pain. So to know that my surgery, being bigger than she was, went phenomenally well. I was up walking around that day. My scars are literally gone. I don't even have scars anymore. I'm just so grateful that I made that choice to go with Dr. Alvarez. I may come off like your biggest cheerleader, but I'm still on the bariatric site on Facebook for Medicine Hat, and I talk about it all the time and even post your links to the stuff that you say on their site, not to discourage them from the Medicine Hat doctor, but I wish somebody would have given me another option all those years back when I was trying to get in, right? Mm-hmm. But it was a phenomenal, phenomenal experience. I could talk about this all day long, so I'm just going to shut up now.
Well, I want to jump in on that about the experience. I had bypass surgery 5 years ago, soon be 6 years ago. And the care that I received in Mexico for my past, the care I received from the American hospitals when I had my heart bypass surgery. Yeah. It was unreal. I mean, the nurses were coming in, they were checking everything, your IV, your temperature, you know, I introduced you to the nurses at the shift change. I mean, care that I received was just surpassed the care that I receive here in the States. And I've told that to everybody that would listen to me.
Yeah.
and that is our goal. That is what we focus on. We just in Mexico. We don't want to be the cheapest in Mexico because our quality standards are much, much higher than. So what we try to do is be at least half the price of what you would pay, at least half the price of what you would pay back home, and have superb quality healthcare, way more than you would get back home. We would not ever compromise quality in the material used for your surgery. So the material, the staples, the staplers, the material, the disposable material is disposable. The material used that's actually right now inside your bodies, premium quality, same type as if you would have surgery in New York City or Houston. Same deal. We do not get any type of weird material that you may see out there. This is prime. So that, of course, is expensive stuff, and that, of course, raises our price a little bit more. But what you get is you always get what you pay for. It could be a car, it could be, but you compromise with your health. I mean, this is you. Right. Your your body, this is your life, and what you want is the best at a good price, of course. This isn't McDonald's sales or Walmart sales. What you get is quality here, and I've tried to be the most transparent I can with you've probably seen my mom's story there online on YouTube, and the reason I have it there is because exactly the same material and things used for her surgery were the ones used in your surgery. So if I do it in my mom, believe me, it's going to be just perfect for you guys. I wouldn't risk her, right?
As you know, Dr. Alvarez's mom's in there. There's also, you know, the Nashville star Melissa Lawson. You know, what are some of the videos that you guys, you know, were more influential on your decision?
Or people that were considering surgery. I actually did reach out, and during my research, I reached out to Melissa. You know, I had seen her on TV, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just send an email. But really, the questions and answers, because it was the same questions that I had, or concerns that I had, and so here we're learning about and how Dr. Alvarez was answering, and being so upfront and providing that information in videos to support what he was doing. So just the fact that it was available was one of the key factors for me from the videos.
What about you, Katie?
Well, honestly, the ones that got me the most were the videos of people's experience picked up through the process, and to me, I loved those ones the most because nothing then was a shock. I knew exactly what was going to happen. You could see whether someone was happy or sad or upset, or those really helped me. I mean, I watched a lot of his surgery ones and a lot of the stories and whatnot, but the actual ones that showed people through their journey of the 4 or 5 days were what showed me that, number one, it was an incredible facility. It was clean. It was beautiful. The people are incredibly nice. It's almost like they all take happy pills. All the whole day, you know, I can't tell you how many times Rosie made me laugh. I swear I almost peed myself a few times. She is just the biggest sweetheart. I miss her so much. So it was those videos that really got me to feel okay about doing the process, because I could see it as if I was there firsthand. It was not the surgery ones to see into me. The information that I was sent home with, I read his book cover to cover probably twice. It's all full of highlighter. And my pillow I still have on my bed. And I use it, actually, the pillow, to explain to people what actually happened, because sometimes it's hard to explain in words. So the pillow is awesome for that. But it was those videos of those trips. I actually wish that I would have done a video of my trip and kept it, because it was a life-changing experience.
It is, yeah. Those sleeve pillows come in handy. Just a curious fact about those sleeve pillows, we were working with this company that, Thorne, I don't know if you actually received one, but they originally they are the company that came out with that big heart-shaped pillow that they use for open heart surgery.
Yeah, I've got
that pillow when you cough. And the sternum, it hurts a little less, a little more comfortable to cough. So I contacted those guys, and I said, I want to do a sleeve pillow, and they go, well, what is a sleeve? What is what is that? So I actually sent them more or less a design, a drawing, and after about almost 11 prototypes, we got that last one that you actually have, Katie. So now the only thing I have to say is I need another order shipped out and to post it on their website to sell. And I go, of course you can sell it out to anybody that wants to buy a sleeve pillow. So that's just a curious story there from the sleeve pillow that you mentioned.
I love it. It makes it so much easier to explain to people what you had done.
True. With the diagram comes in handy.
Yeah.
Now, how do people react when they see that you've lost all this weight?
That's a good one.
Yeah, people keep telling you how great you look, and they can really tell. Now, the first 20, 30 pounds, you're seeing a little of it, but people aren't. They tell you they are, but you know better. Once you get the first 20 to 30 pounds off, that's when people start really noticing. And when you hit 100 pounds and you haven't seen somebody in a while, it's like, whoa, where have you gone? So it's great. It's recognized for something other than being the one that is filling up the chair beside you.
Well, for me, I think it still catches me off guard when people say, "Oh my God, you look so great." I kind of do this. Oh yeah, really? Oh yeah, yeah, I lost some weight. I'm still surprised and shocked. Like I said, I'm still getting surprises, and I hope they don't stop. I'm really loving the surprises. But it's a confidence booster. It inspires me to keep going and to see how much healthier I can get. It's not so much about the numbers or what size I'm at, or my health factor is just becoming incredible. I just went to go see my doctor a couple weeks ago, and he's looking at your old chart and looking at your chart now. They are not two of the same people. Two very different people. So that to me is amazing. But yeah, like I said, I still okay, you're right, thanks.
You both have more energy now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Lose those pounds that they were carrying extra, those 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds. And you were actually carrying them all day long, but you were actually also sleeping with them every night, and that actually does affect you down the road. Affects you the way you sleep, the way you wake up in the morning, the way you're tired, fatigued, and down the road, it as Katie was mentioning, it does a totally different inside and out. Some people just don't understand. There's some people that aren't that big, or they don't have that excess amount of weight, but they are a candidate for weight loss surgery following the guidelines or criteria. But so they get it a lot from other patients or other family members. It's like, why are you getting weight? You actually don't need that much weight. It's the way their bodies actually handle that extra weight. And that excess weight, it could be just 25, 35 pounds, but they're really short. Bodies just can't handle that much, those extra 30, 40 pounds, and it makes them a candidate for surgery. And some people, it's not just the weight, but it's more a metabolic thing. I mean, you're talking cholesterol, triglycerides, sleep apnea, your knees, your ankles, everything. And that is more a metabolic surgery than just looking at the weight. Maybe you guys can actually talk a little bit more about what extra stuff you started to notice, not just the weight.
I can go ahead, Katie.
Pressure. I had nothing. As my doctor would say, I was healthy like a horse and heavy like one. I didn't have any of those problems. For me, my body felt abused. My knees were always killing me. My hips were always killing me. I was exhausted all the time, irritable and cranky. My moods were just, I felt like I was getting hit by a train every day. It was just so sore, and no matter what I did, I could take Tylenol, extra strength. I was, in and out of the doctors trying to find something for my back because I had horrific back pain, and they were talking about a boob reduction, and I knew that wasn't what was going to help it. It wasn't going to do it. So having this weight loss surgery, I have virtually absolutely no aches and pains anymore unless I push it a little too much that day on the treadmill. Then I the next morning. But the biggest things that were holding me down mentally, making me an angry, depressed person all the time, has lifted. I don't have to worry about being tired that day or being sore that day. I'm in a much better mood. I have a bigger fight for life. I'm happier. Even my husband said it's like I took but the bee stick out of my butt. I'm happy again, and I'm back to the woman he loved, right? So for me, the surgery wasn't just about losing weight, but all the things that were making me sad and depressed and exhausted and angry and snappy. It changed it all once I was able to take my body back and actually start taking care of it. And understanding that it's something that needs to be taken care of, not just so that I live till I'm 80, 90, obviously my mental state, much on that. And I think that's honestly the biggest change, that I'm happy. And I haven't been happy in probably a good 10 years. And that to me means a lot more.
Yes, indeed.
You're a whole new person. I've never let my weight hold me back. I've been overweight since I was about so it's pretty much, this is who I am, and I go for it, and I like me, so that's the big thing about it. But it did keep me from stepping out of my comfort zone. But now, working in the yard, and I used to dread mowing the yard. I'd hire somebody to mow my yard, and my yard's not that big. But now, I'm mowing the yard, I'm weed eating, I'm throwing the mulch, I'm doing all that. But the big thing for me is I do have sleep apnea. So I just had a recent sleep study. Another 40 or 50 pounds. I will come off the CPAP machine. Lowered it down now from a 17 to a 10. So that's a big, big deal for me. The only medication I take now, other than my vitamins and supplements that before surgery, is that I take a half of a cholesterol pill. And my cholesterol is such that I really don't need it. But there's, according to my cardiologist, there's some other factors that cholesterol medicine does help. So he, rather than taking me completely off of it, he does want me to continue taking a half. So, no blood pressure medicine, no heart medication, half of a cholesterol pill. So that's made a tremendous difference in wise. Everything is just great. And I'm kind of like Katie. Before I had this heart attack, and it's really kind of funny because I had what they call the widowmaker. And so I didn't have any plaque anywhere else. It was all confined to one spot. And when they found it, I was 100% blocked. Should have been dead. So it was me to have this surgery and to get a second chance on everything. That got back from a week in Savannah, Georgia, did all the walking that's involved with walking historical areas, and made it from sun up to sundown. And before this surgery, that would have been completely impossible. Would not have happened. So I've got a brother that we're kind of the Laurel and Hardy, and I've lost him. As far as the weight loss, I've lost more than my brother weighs. So that's a big. That's what we joke about, that I've lost him somewhere along the way.
Some people just don't get that, like in your case, Thorne, it was weight loss surgery, like with Katie. It's actually kept you alive, and what you're doing is adding extra years of life. Katie has done it, you have done it, but everybody that gets this procedure, what you're doing is prolonging your life, number one. But number two, the most important thing is you're getting quality of life.
Oh,
and
much better.
That applies from waking up. That's just the most, the way you rest at night, waking up in the morning, putting on your socks, putting on your shoes, tying your shoelaces. Simple things that as you lose those, it starts coming off, melting off those first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it starts to get easier and easier to move around and do things easier. Now that you mention having that previous heart attack, it's important to mention that in our practice, we just don't take anybody as a patient. It's very important. Some people don't don't understand. They think old, just maybe crappy stand. Probably just take anything, or they just probably want my money, and then that's it, you know. Thor, maybe you can extend a little bit of what we did in your case, so anybody that's watching this can actually see how meticulous it was to actually work around it and have you come for surgery.
Exactly. You know, all of my information, prior history was provided. It wasn't like, you know, okay, I'm going to send you a check, we'll line up and go have surgery. I did provide a medical history. Communicate back and forth with my cardiologist. Y'all actually discussed my case. And that was a big factor, whether or not I would be a candidate. You know, granted, yeah, I was over the BMI, I met all the criteria there, but that consideration for the heart surgery that I'd had in the past and my health point, whether I would even be a candidate, so by night thing, it was, all of my health condition was taken into consideration, which was, you know, like I said, there were some concerns on my family's part, and one of the things that, you know, was I don't want to say a condition of it, but it would suit everybody, you know, that my wife especially, was that my doctors here that were providing the follow-up care were all on board. And so, you know, granted, didn't tell a lot of people I was having it, but the medical community that is involved with me was involved. And, you know, and that was quite a relief from a, you know, a mental standpoint. You knew what you were getting into before I got there.
Right.
And, you know, medically, you know, granted I was overweight and met those qualifications, but whether the rest of me would be able to stand it.
Correct. And some people just don't understand this. It's simple. I mean, if you have a history of being anemic or having trouble with, what I try to do is, all right, give me some blood work, this, and let me have that. Let me talk to your doctor. Let me have some results. Let me see your previous testing. And it's not me just trying to give you a hard time for surgery. What I want is for you to have a really good outcome, which is our main goal, your main goal, my main goal, and the rest of the team. Our priority here is for you to go home in one piece, going really good and in good shape. Giving me a hard time, he just probably doesn't want to have surgery, or they're actually lining me up for surgery, like a production line some other place. And what I do is that people who have been qualified for surgery, and I personally screen you on each case with each health history. If I take you as a patient, that means you have been screened, and I know you will have the best outcome. Like Katie here has had amazing outcome with the weight loss. Every single patient that we've had, I personally screen them. I personally review them. That is why we don't just take anybody or a huge amount of patients just to make the money, you know. Katie, how about you? You have any can you tell us a little bit about your experience here with us?
Well, like I said, phenomenal. I'm surgeries. I don't like being under. I don't like the idea of somebody doing, and you know, between the nurses and you coming in to check on me, and I mean, you even helped Mike not pass out going in, and you know, all that was just amazing. And I have to say, you know, since the surgery, coming home, I've been able to get a hold of you day or night, Facebook, email, you name it, on all the stupid girl questions I must have. Always have gotten a reply, boom, right quick. And to me, that's phenomenal, considering I can't even get in to see my regular doctor that day to ask a question, right? So it means a lot to me that I'm able to constantly get a hold of you and say, you know, I'm having a hard time with this, what should I do? Or like last week or the week before, when I reached over my 10,000 steps for that day, I was so proud of myself for doing that. That was incredible. Just an amazing experience and amazing setup you have going. And Mexico shouldn't even be a decision-making skills. It shouldn't even be a part of the factor picking a doctor and you're picking a clinic. It shouldn't make a difference where it is, because the truth of it is you want to find the best doctor who does the best job, that has the best, and they wouldn't have cared whether you were in Mexico, timed out like I did, that you were the best doctor for this. I would have traveled anywhere around the globe, no matter what it would have cost. The location never.
Yes. Yes. Of course.
How is your diet or your weight loss?
The diet's a little different sometimes. I find that my mood for different foods changes as things change. But I notice that sugary things and pop and stuff like that, I'm not even really interested in whatsoever. It's mainly fruit and vegetables. I can't possibly get enough of it. It's something I'm constantly changing because I'm trying to deal with the plateaus and I'm trying to adjust the plateaus and get where I need to be, but I'm trying to follow as much as what's on Dr. Alvarez's book as possible, and I'm trying to watch the calories and what I'm supposed to. But the surgery totally helped me deal with cravings and overeating and craving the wrong things. If I'm hungry for the right stuff now, and I think that takes a lot of hard work out of it.
Yeah, some people just don't understand that that this procedure, and it is amazing. It's a tool. Yes, you get that a lot. I mean, it does a whole bunch with the flow and work with it, adapt to it, and you'll see that weight melt off and just work for you. I guess probably everybody that gets surgery or is planning to have surgery, it'll go through your mind. It's like, will this work out for me? I mean, I've tried everything else. I've burned out all other things. I've tried every other diet, weight systems and everything, and nothing has worked for me. Will this be just another thing that'll probably just not work for me? I can assure you it does work. You've got hundreds of testimonials online, thousands on my website alone. We've got hundreds, and as Thorne and Katie were saying, well, we've got the videos, we've got all the information out there to see. But yeah, it's not magic. It's not a magical procedure that will just boom vanish your weight off. It will help you, but you need to work around it and adapt to it. I got yesterday. I got a local patient, come in for a consultation. And she was disappointed. She'd only lost 30 pounds, and she couldn't get those extra 10 pounds off. She didn't have much to lose from the get-go, and saying, well, the procedure just, I thought it's going to do everything for me. Why would I diet if I should have just dieted and taken care of it? Well, no, the procedure does pretty much everything for you. All you have to do is just put a little bit of effort and go along with your procedure. Don't go against your procedure. This patient was going totally against the procedure, trying to beat the procedure. So if you try to go against your procedure, there's nothing on earth that will stand you. You will beat absolutely any other procedure out there or anything out. If you put your mind and body to it and you're like, I'm going to beat this sleeve thing, you will beat it. You have to work with it. You need to be compromised with it to have a change. And as you see here with Katie, just see it melt off and adapt to it, and just start to enjoy life totally differently.
We have a few more minutes left, and Katie and Thorne, if you have anything that you want to encourage other people, if you want to say anything to the the audience, please do. Words of encouragement, and then I'll wrap it up with Dr. A.
Yeah, my words of encouragement are: do your homework. I can tell you every day that you need to have this surgery, you need to have some sort of weight loss reduction surgery. But do your homework. That's only going to make you feel better. Dr. Alvarez has a tremendous amount of information out there that, as I stated earlier, he wants people to be educated about the surgery, whether you're his or else's. You've got to appreciate and respect that. This is, every question you should have about this surgery is available to you, just through this man alone. He's not God. He's providing you a tool that it's only going to be as good as you use it. You can be inactive, as he was stating. You can be inactive and you'll lose a little bit, and you won't lose a lot of it. I can't enough for the amount of energy that I've got a lot now. 3 miles, walking 3 miles, doing a 5K. I don't run, I walk, but I still do a 5K. That would not have been possible 2 years ago. Dr. A, I was out today at lunch instead of eating lunch, looking at mountain bikes. So we'll share that with you. It's a whole different thing. But people need to get out there, do your homework. Educate not only yourself, but the people that you surround yourself with. The tool's going to be there if you have the surgery, but you need them to support you and not go against you. So the more they understand, and that's what was with me. My wife and family have seen the videos, from exactly what the surgery is doing to, post-surgery and people's journey through the whole thing. So get educated about it. Don't do it on a whim. It's a mental as well as a physical thing.
The only two things that I'll say is it's not a miracle to do, and I paid oodles of money to do so many of those things that just didn't work. And, it was put to me one day, this surgery is like you're running in quicksand. And what the surgery does is he puts you on cement so that you'll actually get to go somewhere. But if the moment you get on cement, you stand there, nothing's going to happen. He's just giving you an opportunity to make sure that all your efforts in life to become healthier, to become happy, aren't wasted. It's like he gives you a little jump start. But it's not easy. It's difficult. It's trying. It's exhausting. But, every single day from the day that I've had this surgery,